Thank you. Nathan Whitney on the tenor saxophone. Tenor, here we go. Nathan Whitney. Jerry Dimon. Take it down.
Someone I needed so long.
You're still here.
Thank you.
Saxophone section. Here you go. Well, thank you very much.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Honors big band, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Thank you very much.
visitor of the week is Germany's first jazz professor, Jiggs Wigham. He recently came to Berlin from Cologne to take over as artistic director and chief conductor of the Rias Big Band. So our visitor of the week is American Jiggs Wigham. He is Germany's first professor of jazz music, and he's also chief conductor and artistic director of the Rias Big Band. Welcome to Boulevard, Germany.
Thank you.
Now, jazz professor, does that mean that you teach students how to play jazz, or do you also teach sort of general appreciation of jazz?
It's a pretty overall view of music. We try to be specific. My concept of education for young people is to give them the opportunity to be able to play as professional musicians, give them the right stuff, give them the right attitude, give them the right atmosphere to learn, play together, learn how to improvise, an overview of jazz history, of music history. So it's pretty well encompassed. The whole thing is pretty involved.
Now, you were first named head of the jazz department, professor of jazz music in 1979 at Cologne University's College of Music.
That's correct, yes.
That was the first appointment of its kind.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long?
Who knows? I think, you know, jazz has been well appreciated in Germany for many, many years, since the end of the Second War. And I think that it took a lot of people to realize that it was actually a serious music. Most people, or a lot of people, particularly in academic circles, still consider jazz music to be, well, it's anybody can kind of do that. If you play out a tune and play fast and make it sound exciting, it'll be okay. It'll be jazz music, which of course it's not.
Right.
That's an element, of course. This wonderful, dirty part of music is jazz music is a great element of it. But
is the situation similar at all in the U.S.? I mean, was jazz accepted there earlier or later?
Strangely enough, I think jazz has never been accepted in America anywhere to any degree which it should be, because of the fact that it's there. It's indigenous to America. That's people say it's our export. Americans export to the world, and yet it's never really been appreciated, to my knowledge, as much as it should be.
Now, among your students, do you notice any specific trends? Do they all want to play bebop or a different kind of jazz? Or?
That's very interesting. It's very refreshing, too, because it seems there used to be a time where it was all one, it's new music, or it's going to be free music, or rock, or fusion. And these days, you know, we've come to a place where it's possible to go into a restaurant with a suit and tie on, or it's also possible to go into a very fancy restaurant with a jacket or just a sweater. And I think the same is also true with music and jazz music. If you want to concentrate on bebop, that's fine. If you want to do fusion music, that's fine. If you want to be a big band player, that's fine. I think all these things, though, to make a truly round musician is to round him out and do all these things. It's very important.
Okay, you mentioned big band. We'll speak more about big bands in just a moment, but first we want to give your viewers an idea of what your typical workday looks like. As we mentioned earlier, Jiggs Wigham is the new artistic director of the Rias Big Band. So we sent a reporter out to find out how the band rehearses under its new artistic director.
Ever since Jiggs Wigham took over as leader of the Rias Big Band, the music has taken a new direction, featuring classic works of jazz by composers like Cole Porter, George Gershwin, and Duke Ellington. The musicians in the band think that the new leader was a change for the better.
We work a lot more. We work a lot harder. It's been a big difference. We were playing a lot more concerts in public than we used to. Just to be blunt, the band plays a lot better since he's here, and he's shaped up the band, and which makes it more fun for everyone playing, because, you know, when the band sounds better, it's more fun to play. That's simple.
From the beginning, Jiggs Wigham made a name for himself with big band music. At 17, he played first trombone in Ray McKinley's Glenn Miller Orchestra, and 2 years later, Stan Kenton hired him as a soloist. In '65, Wigham came to Cologne, Germany, and played with jazz greats like Dexter Gordon, Count Basie, and Dizzy Gillespie.
He is one of the first soloists who came to Germany and make a revolution here.
He's one of the most important persons in Germany for jazz, because when he came to Cologne, a lot of people came to Cologne to study there.
In 1979, Jiggs Wigham received the first full professorship for jazz and popular music in Germany. Since October 1995, he's been teaching at the Hans Eisler School of Music in Berlin. But his work as a band leader remains important to him and others.
Oh, he's so different. No, he's very relaxed, loose guy, like him a lot. Yeah, it's nice to work with.
He's happy, he smiles, and he gives the band a good feeling.
he makes people feel very comfortable, especially in live concerts.
He's just a great trombone player, so, and as a band leader, he's probably one of the nicest guys to lead a band.
Maybe it's the combination of many years of teaching experience together with his own successful career as a soloist, plus a light touch that enables Jig Wiggum to bring out the best in his musicians. And judging by the reaction in the concert hall, the new Rias Big Band is better than ever.
And we're back now with Jigs Wiggum. So did you pay all those musicians to say all those wonderful things about you?
Boy, did they fool everybody. No, they're really, it's a great group to work with. They're wonderful people, they're great musicians, and it's an honor and a pleasure to work with them, truly.
What attracted you to taking the job in the first place?
Well, I've always had a sort of a vision to be a band leader. Since I was a little kid, somehow, I've always loved big band music, and I love playing, and and I somehow, I guess I have sort of a knack to stand in front of people and maybe encourage them, and that's one of the reasons. Also, the band really wanted me to be there. They asked me to be there, and they requested the higher-ups to get me, so.
Now, we've mentioned on the show before that Rias technically really doesn't exist anymore. How is the band...
You mean I'm out of work?
Well, Rias, the old Radio in the American sector,
okay.
that doesn't exist anymore. How is the band financed?
The band is financed through, it's called a GmbH, and it's called the Deutschland, it's a Rock GmbH, Rundfunkorchester and Chöre GmbH. I still can't figure out what that all means, but part of the Federal Republic finances it, plus Deutschland Radio and Second German Television. There's a group of, I think, 4 or 5 different companies which finances the band.
Now, our musical guest on our last show was Helmut Brandt, the former head of Rias Big Band. Do you think there's a difference in your styles and how you work with the band?
Well, Helmut was never really the former boss. I think he was a baritone saxophone player, and he a fantastic musician. A little kooky, but fantastic musician. And he just left the band in January. He's happily retired. I think he wants to play every single day. But yeah, the style of the band that I've had, the concept is to not just be a jazz band, or a commercial jazz band or a big band or whatever. We do many different things. Sometimes we'll accompany singers with strings and oboes and French horns. Sometimes we'll do shows which have very clearly defined jazz musicians as soloists. Sometimes we'll back up singers and so forth. So the band is very, very flexible. And I think it's important to not specialize too much in one particular area. Otherwise, the band has a label which is unfortunate. You know, and the bands of the past, the great bands, Count Basie and Duke Ellington and Stan Kenton, all these bands, in fact, did many different things, too. They were...
But I guess when you hear the big band, you think it's associated with certain big band music. I mean, are you trying to make other types of jazz accessible, like, I don't know, fusion?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of what we have to do, I think, but it's also important to recognize that the tradition of big band music is there and should be, in fact, I think very well. The tradition should be kept in a very clean way too, which means to respect that music of the past and not just say, well, it was old-fashioned. People say Glenn Miller music, particularly musicians, oh, that's corny stuff. It can be corny because it's played corny, but if it's played very well, it can be wonderful music.
So you don't get bored with it at all? I mean, you don't feel yourself limited?
I don't have time. I love what I do. I love playing music. I love making music. I love teaching music. And I can't get bored. I just love it.
Do you think there needs to be any work done in making jazz more accessible to people?
Yeah, indeed. I think one of the great challenges for all of us that are out here trying to keep jazz music really alive and with the people is to make it accessible. I think sometimes, particularly in the 50s, there was a certain ultra-hipness that was, well, we just don't, you know, you can't understand what we're doing because you're too stupid.
But it used to seem to speak to a young generation, and now a lot of people think, well, you have to almost study it before, you have to sort of go through school to really understand it. I
tell my students that there's an interesting, I call it the Holy Trinity of music, which is, you know, in the church it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and in music I call it the Holy Trinity, which is the ear, the brain, and the heart. And none of these should get out of proportion. The heart is very important, so it's accessible to everyone.
Okay, and we're back now with Jigs Wickham. So are you familiar with the Reese Cultural Festival?
No, it sounds very interesting, though. I think maybe they could use a big band in their repertoire.
It's mostly classical
Yeah, and
music.
I think that's a good idea these days to the fusion of jazz and class. The walls are coming down. The wall came down here in Berlin about 6 years ago,
Right.
and it's
It took even
wonderful.
longer for the wall between jazz and classical to come down.
Yeah, and it is coming down there. And it's very, very good. It's very, very good. It's a basis of our music, jazz music. You know, how do you separate Johann Sebastian Bach from jazz? He for sure would have been a jazz musician if he had he lived now.
You're convinced of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And plus, whatever the labels are, you know, what was Mozart? Mozart was light music, and it was very, very serious music too. It's music is music.
Okay. One question I've been meaning to ask you is your name, Jigs. Is that your given name or is it a nickname?
Now, no parent in the world is that cruel to name their child Jigs. My real name is Oliver Hayden Wiggum III. And
how did Jigs
there
come
were
about?
3 Oliver Hayden Wiggums in one house, my grandfather and so forth. And my grandfather used to call me Jigs because I looked like this character in the funny papers, and his name was Jigs and Maggie, bringing up father. And Jigs got stuck there, and here we are, a few years later down
Okay,
there.
I thought it might have something to do with how you play the trombone. I wasn't sure.
No, there was, you know, the Irish jig and all the rest of it too. But no, it has nothing to do with that. This was an Irish character in the comics, and it stuck.
And how did you pick the trombone as the instrument to play?
I think music chooses you, and I really firmly believe you don't choose to be a musician or whatever it is in the arts. I think that the spirit, the spark gets inside of you, and it chooses you. And that my father was a trombonist, amateur one, very good one. And I heard the sound of the trombone in my head, and I studied piano and classical music when I was a young boy. But the trombone it fell into place, and it said, oh, this is how it goes. It's easy, and it's fun.
During your career, you've played with some greats. You played with Dizzy Gillespie, you played with Count Basie, you played with Dexter Gordon. Were you starstruck at all playing
Oh,
with them?
yeah. Oh, well, sure. I still am. Every time I see these people or around these people that I revere and love, it's a wonderful experience. It's part of somehow being also a member of the club in the meantime, a little bit inside that inner circle to be able to play with these great, great people.
Was there anyone in particular that you enjoyed playing with?
No, they're all different. They're all these great people. There's such a wonderful sense of personality and style. Dexter Gordon, what a fantastic man he was. Dizzy Gillespie, Max Roach. There's a bunch of Count Basie. Count Basie was a very quiet man, but he had so much energy. And by not doing anything, he would just put his nose up like this and do something. It meant something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you were based in Cologne for a long time. You now do a large part of your work in Berlin. What has the switch been like for you?
It's been interesting because I really like this city. Cologne is a wonderful cultural city, lots of art, lots of music. Berlin is for sure going to be the metropole of the next century, for sure in Europe. It was many years ago, and it will be again. This city has a wonderful energy, has a wonderful opportunity for music every single evening. There's so many concerts here.
Now, the institute you're at, though, is actually a former East German music institute,
Yeah.
isn't it? Has anything come across in the way East German music students were previously trained, or have you?
Oh yeah, it's an interesting tradition. We'll have to have at least 4 or 5 more shows to delve into that. But I mean, when I think sometimes of all the miracle that's happened in the last 10 years here in Germany, with the wall coming down, and here is an American who is a Beamter teaching at a former East German university and Musikhochschule. I just scratch my head. It can't be really true.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure having you on the show today, Jigs Wickham. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So before we say goodbye today, we have a couple special numbers for you. First, Patricia.
Yes, look what you can see, what you can do with the bamboo tube. Woo! Yeah, it didn't go.
You did so much
nicer
better before. There we go.
Yeah, look at this.
Okay, and our
like
second
that.
special number is now Jigs Wickham is going to play for us. What are you going to play for us?
How can I follow that, first of all? Anyway, this is the theme song, our band's theme song. It's called Reassessment.
Okay, well, it'll certainly be louder than that, so we'll get out of your way and let you go.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Einen recht schönen guten Abend, liebe Zuschauer hier im Studio. Ich begrüße jetzt auch ganz herzlich die Zuschauer von ZDF und Dreisat und die Hörer vom Deutschlandradio zu Swing-Legenden. Heute Abend a tribute to Duke Ellington. Den ersten Titel haben Sie ja schon gehört. Er wurde gespielt von der RIAS Big Band unter der Leitung von Jiggs Wiggum. Und jetzt geht's hier los mit Rockin' in Rhythm. It don't mean a thing. Das war ein Lieblingssatz von Duke Ellington und er sollte nichts anderes sagen als Jazzmusik macht überhaupt gar keinen Sinn ohne Swing. Und wir hören jetzt ein ganz neues Arrangement, das swingt natürlich ganz genauso. Und Sie erleben jetzt die Solisten Walter Gauchel mit Tenorsaxophon, Christian Graban Trompete und Holger Nell Schlagzeug.
Mr. John Marshall on trombone. The Hiolanga on the bass. On the bass. Mr. Dieter Bilsheim. Vielen Dank.
Ja, lieber Jix, nach diesem super Stück, ich bin jetzt ein bisschen in a sentimental mood, weißt
schön.
du? Ja.
Schön,
Sag mal, man weiß ja vom Duke, dass er gerne Frauen um sich hatte.
So war das.
Für wen mag er das wohl geschrieben haben?
Vielleicht für dich.
Im Vorgriff sozusagen.
Ja,
Würdest du auch tun, ne?
selbstverständlich.
Natürlich.
Ja, klar.
Also wie ich das wieder rausgekitzelt
Schöne Job
habe
habe ich,
aus
ja.
dir. Es ist einfach toll. Nein, sag mal, was mir nämlich wirklich aufgefallen ist, er ist ja gebeten worden, eine Komposition zu machen. Das war im Juli 1969, als die Astronauten auf dem Mond gelandet sind.
Ja.
Ja. Und da hat er etwas geschrieben und es ist mir aufgefallen, er hat es nicht etwa Mann im Mond genannt, den es ja auch gar nicht gab, sondern Mondmädchen. Also auch wieder eine Hommage an die Frauen. In a Sentimental Mood.
Featuring Mr. Klaus Mahmula. Klaus Marmula. Vielen Dank. Klaus Marmüller, Innocent a Mental Mood. Meine Damen und Herren, Sie wissen vielleicht, heute Abend ist ein Tribute an Duke Ellington. Das ist oft gesagt worden. Aber was Sie vielleicht nicht wissen, ist, wir haben auch gedacht, ein Tribute Duke Ellington heute und damals. Und das, was Sie jetzt gehört haben, war ein Arrangement von Dieter Mensinger, ein neues Arrangement für Klaus Marmüller geschrieben worden. Und wir möchten jetzt aber ein bisschen zurückgreifen, ungefähr fast 60 Jahre zurück. Ein Original-Fassung von Mr. Duke Ellington himself. Und das ist ein wunderbarer Arrangement und Komposition sowieso vom Duke. Das ist so schön, weil der Duke war unter anderem bekannt für seine schönen Melodien, aber auch für seine Jungle Sounds. Und die Jungle Sounds werden Sie jetzt auch unter anderem erleben. In ein Stück namens Diminuendo in Blue. Grégoire Peters. Grégoire Peters. Und Walter Gaukel. Und Hoganell and the whole band.
Super. An ihm, liebe Zuschauer, da hätte der Duke ganz bestimmt seine Freude gehabt. Eine wunderschöne, weiche, warme Stimme. Kommen Erinnerungen natürlich hoch an Nat King Cole, an Sammy Davis Jr., vielleicht auch ein bisschen Dean Martin. Aber ich finde, so jung diese Stimme auch ist, sie hat schon einen ganz eigenen, unverwechselbaren Sound. Er meint ja, unser nächster Solist, er meint ja, dass die Frauen eine gewisse Vormachtstellung im Jazz singen hätten, liefert auch gleich die Erklärung dazu. Er meint, Frauen lassen sich einfach mehr Zeit zu reifen, lassen auch ein Talent dann mehr reifen. Junge Männer dagegen, die wollten ganz schnell das schnelle Geld machen und driften dann ab zum Rock'n'Roll. Also, wenn das Geld vorbeikommt, glaube ich, würde er es auch nicht verachten. Ne? Aber jedenfalls eins steht fest, ihm geht immer die Kunst vor Geld. Und vielleicht hat er das ein bisschen von seiner Mutter übernommen, die übrigens eine klassische Pianistin war. Die hat ihm auch die Liebe zur Musik beigebracht. Und die hat ihm noch etwas mit auf den Weg gegeben, was er bis heute beherzigt. Sie hat immer gesagt, sei sicher, dass die Leute, das Publikum weiß, was du mit deinem Song ausdrücken willst. Ich glaube, da gibt es heute Abend keine Missverständnisse. Meine Damen und Herren,
Mr. Alan Harris.
I let a song go out of my heart. It was the sweetest melody. I know I lost heaven, 'cause you were the song. Since you and I have drifted apart, that doesn't mean a thing to me. Please come back, sweet music. I know I was wrong. Am I too late to make amends? You know that we were meant to be more than just friends, just friends. I let a song go out of my heart. Believe me, darling, when I say I won't know sweet music until you return someday. I know I lost heaven until you return. I know that I lost heaven until you return someday. I let a little song out of my heart. Every thought of you makes my heart sing like an April breeze on the wings of spring. And you appear in all your splendor. My one and only love. The shadows fall and spread their mystic charms in the hush of night. While you're in my arms, I feel your lips so warm and tender. My one and only love. The touch of your hand is like heaven, heaven that I never known. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me that you are my own. Fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender. My one and only love. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me that you are my own. Fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender. My one and only love. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jakes. Thank you very much. That was very sweet. That was very sweet. Well, Maestro. Mr. Saturday Dance. Heard they crowded that floor. Couldn't bear it without you. Don't get around much anymore. To visit this club, got as far as the door. They have asked me about you. Don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease. Nevertheless, why stir up those memories? Been invited on dates, could have gone, but what for? They have asked me about you. Don't get around much anymore. my mind's more at ease. Nevertheless, why stir up those memories? Been invited on dates, could have gone, but what for? They have asked me about you, baby. Don't get around much anymore. No, no, no. They have asked me about you, baby. Don't get around much anymore. Yeah, don't get around much, Jigs, do you, huh? Thank you. Come talk to me. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Oh, thank you for having me.
Mr. Alan Harris. Mr. Alan Harris.
Thank you very much.
Yo.
Thank you.
Beautiful. It's a great pleasure to have you here in Berlin, Alan.
Well, it's my pleasure, really, with these wonderful cats behind you.
Yeah. No.
Anyone can sound good.
You sound beautiful.
Thank you.
We're really happy you're here. And it's also a great pleasure to hear you sing all these wonderful Duke Ellington melodies.
Well, I grew up with these songs.
Yeah?
I grew up with them. I had the opportunity to see Duke when I was a child. Being a child of New York, he used to do a lot of park things. My mother used to take me, and I'd sit up front and go, wow.
Als Kind war, darf ich kurz übersetzen, seine Mutter hat ihm in den Park gebracht. Also Duke Ellington, stellen Sie mal vor, im Park einfach für alle Leute gespielt haben, hat das auch erlebt. Wonderful. And also you were kind of discovered, I guess, by Tony Bennett, huh?
Yes, I did a show with him in Florida, and he asked me to come back to New York, which is my hometown. And he helped guide me a little bit through my show, and I owe a lot to him.
Der große Tony Bennett hat ihn in etwa entdeckt und hat ihm gesagt, er sollte wieder nach New York gehen, weil er so gut ist. Und das stimmt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, shall we make some more noise for them?
Let's do one more, huh?
Okay, let's do one more.
We're going to do let's do one that's looking like, how do you feel?
Looking at the world through rose-colored glasses.
That's a good idea. All right, all right.
Looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, everything is rosy now. Looking at the world and everything that passes seems a rosy hue somehow. Why do I feel so shy? Don't wink your eye. Needn't guess, I confess, certain someone just said yes. In a bungalow all covered with roses, I will settle down, I vow. That's why I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Everything is rosy now. How about it, huh? Yeah. Looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, everything is rosy now. Looking at the world and everything that passes seems a rosy hue somehow. Why do I feel so shy? Don't wink your eye. Needn't guess, just said yes. Certain someone just said yes. In a bungalow all covered with roses, I will settle down, I vow. That's why I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. Everything is rosy now. Everything is rosy now.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, baby.
Mr. Alan Harris. Alan Harris. Alan Harris. Ja.
Fantastisch, really. Ich glaube, obwohl du ja nie eine Pause machst und das Orchester natürlich auch nicht, jetzt spielt er auch noch was ganz besonders Schwieriges.
Oh ja, das ist ein ganz schwieriges Stück, denn die Saxophone haben 4 Töne. 4 Töne, also ungefähr 16 Kilo pro Takt.
16 Kilo pro Takt.
Mhm,
ist angekommen. Ist angekommen.
Ja. Also Kilo, Noten, viel.
Ja, klar.
Also,
Sag,
heute Abend kommt es später vielleicht.
ja, ne, das kommt schon, aber zum Teil ist es schon angekommen. Sag einmal, mir fällt überhaupt auf, dein Orchester oder das Orchester hat jetzt einen anderen Klang. Es hieß ja auch früher Rias Tanzorchester, jetzt heißt es Rias Big Band. Und ich weiß, dass wirklich weltberühmte Solisten ganz begeistert sind von diesem Orchester und das hat auch, glaube ich, jetzt inzwischen einen internationalen Namen.
Danke. Vielen Dank.
Und jetzt also Cottontail.
Cottontail, und wir möchten auch wieder unsere 2 Bunnies featuren hier. Erstens mit Gregor Peters am Tenorsaxophon und ebenfalls Walter Gaukel, Tenorsaxophon. Cottontail, Original Duke Ellington.
Vielen herzlichen Dank.
I think he needs some more. The magnificent world champion trumpeter of the world, Mr. Clark Terry. Yes.